Okay, let's begin with a small scenario. It's a bright sunny day. You are at work, very happy, and all of a sudden your CEO or director of your hospital, he calls you up and he tells you that he has decided to upgrade your department and that they want to buy a new gamma camera for you. And you, as always, very jubilant with the thought, and you come up with the very good words. And then you are given this task to come up with your suggestions on this task in about 2 days. So how do you do? What are the things that you will be considering? How we will approach this kind of decision? Now I totally understand that it's not a very simple procedure. The one that I will be showing the couple of slides next, it's not as simplified as it seems to be. But let's try to like go around all the bureaucratic hurdles and just try to live in an ideal world. What are the things that you will start with? Obviously, you'll be doing some brainstorming upon it, and you will be thinking of a lot of things, a lot of starting with the camera type. What kind of a camera do you need? What is your department's requirement? You need a planar small field, you need a dual head, you need a SPECS system, or you just need, without them, you need a dual head or triple head, whatever. Then you'll go after the companies, you'll collect data on the companies, you'll ask a lot of companies who are supplying those kind of machines. You'll go through their brochures, their data sheets, camera performance specifications, and a lot of things. You might even consult with your peers who already are using machines from those particular companies. You want to know about the company, the level of trust that you can have in that company, the innovative skills that the company has, the staff training to which they agree upon, or after sales services, all these things. And then comes the $1,000,000 question. You tag it with your budget. Can you afford this kind of machine, or which kind of machine that is suitable for you? Now, just going through what these three steps that you did in, what actually performance did you do? First of all, you looked into the specification of any particular camera that you were looking for. Then you kind of made a comparison in between the companies along with their measurable quantities, and we came up with some kind of a result with it. Then you had an overall perception of about that company that we discussed under that by talking to your friends. So how reliable is that company, and should you go for it or no? Coming back to our CEO, after 2 days, he catches you again in the corridor of your hospital and asks you, where are we with the gamma camera? And you come up with a response that you have chosen a camera with the best quality. The key word here is quality. All of these things that you did in these 2 days while you looked at the specifications and the company things and everything, you were basically informally assessing quality. You were making up your mind to choose the best quality camera. So what exactly is quality? Quality is an attribute that is what you assign to a system or a process or a machine. That is something that you give it to, you put on that tag, and it combines both the intrinsic characteristics, the specifications, the company issues, and everything that meet up to your expectation. This is the quality informally if you define it. And a more practical definition could be that it is the capacity to satisfy all the requisites that you may have as a customer or all other involved parties that are called as stakeholders. These parties could be like your patients, the management of your hospital, everything. So it's the product of all these things that satisfy all the needs or requisites that you may have. So it's quality is basically a practice that comes with the expectations and demands that your clinician who is referring the patients to you, he has from you, the patient who is coming for your scanning or therapeutic services to you, he places in you, and then it's yourself. Are you delivering quality practices or not? Are you giving the quality services or not? Because like any physical products that you come across, they have a tagline of quality. The services part, the services like nuclear medicine service is a service. It's no exception from all this kind of paradigm. So there's no escape. You have to stick to a quality paradigm and you have to practice good quality in your department. So the very basics, we start with the quality control. It's the basic component around which the whole quality program builds upon, and its importance cannot be toned down, as we already have had a workshop with the quality control also. How do you define a quality control system? Well, it's a set of protocols and a system where You implement and try to maintain and improve the quality of your machinery and your services. You monitor, you evaluate, you keep a maintenance check for all the equipment and come up with your results in a defined manner. You measure them and you see if they are in a control level or no. Next comes the quality assurance. Quality assurance is, again, it gives you the confidence in your system and your services that if there is a set agreed standards, international standards or national standards, that your system and your services conform with them. Next come the quality management. It umbrellas both quality assurance and quality control, and it's basically not other than the management function that you ensure and that there's a quality policy that is in place and your department and your institute is practicing that. That is where the quality management comes in. Coming back to our nuclear medicine services. So any patient walking in always thinks, and most of the other of your colleagues, they were not in nuclear medicine, they'll think that you are just give a primary service, that is either you diagnose something, you perform diagnostic services, or you just give the therapeutic services, you offer the therapeutic services, and that's it. That's what nuclear medicine services are. But instead, in addition to these primary services, at the departmental institute level, you're performing a lot of secondary services also. You're looking into your facilities. What kind of facilities does your institute harbor? What kind of patient care are you giving? What is the waiting time for your scans or therapeutic list? How well is your staff equipped with the current competencies? What is their experience level? How do you optimize your process from the patient coming in to going out of your department? The radiopharmaceuticals, quality control, which one are you using? How are you disposing them of? What are the techniques that you can do in your department? Your instruments, are they at par? Are they working properly? So these are all kind of the secondary services that definitely translate into your primary services in delivering the services that you are offering to your patients. So what are the key areas of quality management? The clinical side, what kind of services, how you approach your patients, what kind of outcomes that you come up with, the technical procedures that regard from other than the patient, what are the other procedures that you do? Like it could be from the administering the radiopharmaceutical up till the waste management protocols and everything. How are you dealing with those procedures? How do you prepare your patients? Is it just that your patient comes in and you do the scan, or is there a proper training program for the patient that they have their directions how to come prepared for the scan or the therapeutics? Is that in place? Do you have a proper quality assurance or quality control procedure in all of your departments for everything that you are doing? How do you report? How do you formulate your reports? How do you ask the patients to follow up? How do you ensure those follow-ups? These are all kind of the key areas that you come across with when you're talking about quality management. So in the clinical, you get a patient, it comes with a history, the patient comes with a question, the referring physician has something for you. Now you have to decide the kind of radiopharmaceutical, the type of study that you have to do. You have to do planner, you have to do 3-phase, or what you have to do delayed imaging, static, that is up to you. You have to decide the radiopharmaceutical and the process. On which machine do you want to do that? You want to do it on a planner machine, you want to do it on a spec CT, or these are the things that are the beginning of this process. The procedures that you adopt, was a proper patient history taken? Were all the key factors that you wanted to know, were they recorded? What is the diagnostic question of your referring physician? Is there any diagnostic question to begin with, or is it just do a thyroid scan? Or is there any question behind why do you want to do the thyroid scan or a bone scan, or for that matter any FDG scan? Appropriateness of investigation, this is a very important point, and most of the time this is ignored. Well, I can say to most safely, I can say that in Pakistan or in a lot of other countries also, appropriateness is very important. The machinery, the technology that you offer, it has to have a very proper use of it. You cannot just take any walk-in patient and start doing FDG scans for everyone, or for that matter, if you get a PET MRI and you start doing PET MRI for all kind of patients who even walk in with a headache. So that is a very important, because this inappropriateness loses the value of your services and the value of the machine that you have. Contraindications: patient is pregnant, is a children, the patient has come with a PQ scan, what kind of contraindications that you have. These are all, these is just example, and these kind of, you have to know all of these things when you are ensuring a good quality service. Planning for that procedure: do you have reliable procedures in place? Do you know what the patient is supposed to do when he or she enters your office, and when she or she leaves your office, and where are they supposed to go? And do they have their files already in place? How does the system works? You have to plan these kind of procedures. You have to inform the patient with all the procedure that is gonna happen. It's not just, okay, the patient comes and you just direct the patient to go in a certain room and someone will tell you what you have to do. The best approach is the patient needs to know what you are doing or you're going to do, or what kind of test or things that you're going to do with the patient. Patient preparation: first of all, if you have dispensed any leaflet in when you book the patient, was the patient prepared? Does the patient know how they have to come? They have to come fasting, or they are not coming in fasting? Any things that you have to bring with them, the medications that they are using, have they been withheld? These kind of things that you have to note down. So there has to be a whole paradigm that you have to follow, and you have to have all the checks and balances and the decision making points in throughout your cycle where the patient is coming and going. Like if you have booked a PRRT, then this is a sample of one of the hospitals that what they follow, and how obviously your protocol has to be different, and you have to like have this in black and white, crystal clear. And why are we doing all this? Just to ensure a harmonization in our process for each individual patient. The clinical procedures, the quality with the clinical procedures, the suppliers, the materials that you get, are they of a good quality, good standard, or have you compromised on something? Do you have the proper storage facilities for all the radioactive material and the non-radioactive material? How do you prepare your dosages? Is there have you trained your staff to do that? Is there a proper clinical environment for the patient where you discuss their problems and you address them? Patient handling and preparation is very important. Equipment performance and the acquisition protocols. Equipment performance is your is all your machinery well in their standard functioning mode? Is there any problem? Is the system in control? Is there out of control? These are all things that you have to look into your department. You've got to have a proper waste disposal system. Everyone should know what to do with a radioactive needle, with a radioactive source, how to dispose them of, where to keep them in storage, and how that works. There has to be a proper process for that. IAEA has a good nuclear medicine quality control toolkit that is there for reference, and I mean, it's available for all the departments, and it's good to have this kind of toolkit and to go through all this to have your systems doing work better than whatever they are doing right now. So International Electrotechnical Commission, they are the ones that deal with the standards of most of the electrical, not most, all of the electrical equipment that is out there. And they work with the quality control and quality assurance standards for them. They have set specific specifications for all the equipment, and there's a paradigm to be followed, like how you are supposed to do the test for your cameras, how to do the routine ones, how to compare the results, and how to arrive at a decision point to see if your equipment is properly working, or is there something that you have to do and you have to perform some corrective actions. Training and experience for all your staff. Now you have to decide beforehand what kind of nuclear medicine specialist education or qualifications are you looking for. There has to be a set criteria. I'm sure all the departments have that, but you have to be very stringent about these kind of requirements. Physicists, it's very important that you have well-trained medical physicists and not a part-time technologist or some other person who's doing the physicist job. You have to have a physicist who is well versed with all kind of procedures that and services that happen in your department. Technologist. Okay, in Pakistan, I know that there has been a lack of properly trained technologists for a long time, but that's not an issue. Even if you don't have a properly trained staff for that matter, train them, keep their checks and balances, evaluate them either yourself or by one of your colleagues, and keep the record of all those trainings and develop your workforce. Same goes for the radio pharmacist. I am not sure that we have a proper training program anywhere, any degree. It's mostly MPhil or PhD students who work in the specific field for the radio pharmacy, and you hire them as radio pharmacists. But every department should have one. Most of the departments are, again, even if you don't have radio pharmacists, train one of your people and try to impose strict quality measures and try to impose a strict evaluation for that. Arrange CMEs or arrange your staff to facilitate your staff to attend CMEs, but it's not like I did my medical graduation 15, 16 years ago, and it doesn't work that way that I go without any other training, without any other refresher kind of course, and just keep my knowledge to the level where it was 15 years ago. Facilitate CMEs. Data analysis, very important. Go through your processing protocols. Are they specified according to your needs? Are they measuring what you want to measure? Are they measuring everything in the way you want them to measure? Your equipment, is it in order? You have to perform their quality control checks. Is their integrity maintained? Is there all the results well within the specified limit? The accuracy and integrity of the data that you are collecting, that is very important. Is that the true data? Does it really represent what you have recorded so far? Reporting. Now, this is one area I think where PSNM can be of great assistance or great help. What should I can say? Unify the reporting system. There is a set pattern of reports. I'm sure if you pick up random reports from a lot of centers across Pakistan also, a lot of things will be missing from all these reports. But you have to follow a protocol when you are devising a report. Patient demographics, identity, study type, pharmaceuticals. Always come with a diagnostic conclusion and recommendation. This is very important. Objective description of the findings. I mean, writing down just increased uptake.
Dr. Zaheer Chiragh, sorry to interrupt you, but we are just ahead of our scheduled time. So can you kindly please?
Yeah, just give me, I'm just on the last couple of slides.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the general outcomes of your studies. Audit yourself, look at your data, look at the things that you have gathered, get feedback from your patients, definitely from the referring physicians, build your confidence for your services. Okay, just going through these. This is a quality management cycle that you can do for all your quality things that you're doing. The main idea is to move forward, to move towards the improvements through a quality management system. Audit yourself. There are two types of audits: internal audit, external audit. Internally, you can train your staff and do your audits regularly, or you can do interdepartmental from the departments or from certifying bodies. Let's we can go through all these kinds of, these are just the basic definition for what basic procedures and protocols are and what is an SOP, what kind of documents they are, and they're just basic definitions. And we can just go Quantum audits. This is a very good tool, again offered by IAEA. Do your audits. These are an Excel sheet based audits. And as far as I know, only one center so far, I think Noor Islamabad has audited themselves. Rest of departments should also be using this kind of format to audit their findings and everything. This is an Excel sheet for their and how they perform their results. Second last slide. Quality assurance is not a threat. It's just an opportunity. Embrace that. The staff should feel free to report any kind of errors, can create a non-toxic environment that like we had in the keynote lecture also. Build a culture in your department. It should be non-threatening environment. regularly reward your honesty with encouragements or whatever other means that you can do. Education is the key here, not punishing. Don't punish someone for any errors that they have made. Openness should be encouraged, because if you're not open, you're not reporting anything, the problems get worse. So I hope I have not lost any one of you so far. There's